All right, so today we are diving into some pretty crazy stuff.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, it's Trump coin.
Uh,
Yeah, so you've been sending me all this stuff about this new cryptocurrency, and well,
Lot to unpack.
yeah, so it was launched by, well, I mean, you guessed it, former President Donald Trump.
Seems like a natural next step.
Yeah, seriously, and like there are just so many questions because like we've got, meme coins, and then you've got Trump and his political, I don't even know what to call it, influence.
Clout.
Yeah, clout, that's a good word.
And it really has like captured the public imagination.
Absolutely. It's just like this weird interception of like internet culture and politics and finance.
Right. Like we haven't really seen anything quite like it before.
Yeah, and I think that's like what makes it so interesting to like dig into.
Definitely.
So just to give you a sense of like what we're talking about here, this coin shot up to a market cap of over $9 billion.
Wow.
Yeah, in just 72 hours.
That's insane.
It's billions of dollars.
That's wild. And I think it just shows like the power of his brand and how dedicated his supporters are.
Yeah, seriously, it's like they're all in.
Yeah, it's really telling.
So we've got a lot of like interesting details to cover, like how Melania Trump's own meme coin launch
Yeah.
actually impacted the price of Trump coin.
All connected.
Yeah, and then also the fact that Trump himself owns like 80% of these tokens.
So a couple different companies actually.
Right, exactly. And then we've also got all these expert opinions, and some of them are like, oh, this is going to be huge for crypto, like, under Trump, and all the regulations are going to get cleared and stuff. And then others are like, this is totally predatory, like, people are going to get hurt.
Yeah, it's a mixed bag.
Yeah, for sure. So I guess, like, to get us started, like, we've got to figure out what even is Trump coin.
Yeah, for like the people out there who aren't like crypto experts.
Right, exactly.
Well, at its core, it's a cryptocurrency like, Bitcoin or Ethereum.
Okay.
But it's specifically themed around, you guessed it, Donald Trump.
So, like, it's different from those other cryptocurrencies.
Well, it runs on blockchain technology,
Okay.
specifically the Solana blockchain. And it allows for like secure and decentralized transactions.
Gotcha. So what makes it different?
Well, I mean, it's really designed to appeal to Trump supporters.
Oh, interesting.
So it's like a way for them to show their support and maybe profit from their political beliefs.
So like a digital Magie hat, almost.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Like you're investing in a movement or something.
Right. And it's smart because it taps into like that sense of community they have.
Yeah.
And it gives them a way to like engage with his ideology in like a real tangible way.
But also like a financial way.
Exactly.
So it's not just about like waving a flag or wearing a hat or whatever.
No, it's about putting your money where your mouth is.
Gotcha. So we know what it is, but like why was it even created?
Yeah, that's the big question.
So the website lists like a bunch of different motivations.
Yeah, like first of all, it's all about providing a platform for expressing support for Trump's ideals and beliefs.
Okay, so it's like a digital membership badge.
For the MAGA movement, basically.
Gotcha.
And then second, it's also about building a community around like those shared political views and financial interests.
Okay, so bringing like-minded people together.
Right. It's very much a community play.
So what about the money part? Like, is it just about showing your support, or is there like a real investment opportunity here?
Well, I mean, that's where things get a little murky.
Okay.
They do say that it's like a high reward investment opportunity,
Okay.
especially for people who are like looking to diversify their crypto portfolios.
Gotcha. So there is that appeal.
But yeah.
But you mentioned that Trump owns 80% of the tokens.
Yeah,
That sounds like a lot to me.
it is a lot.
Like a red flag almost.
It's definitely something to be aware of for sure.
Okay, like a potential conflicts of interest and stuff like that.
Right, exactly. And
Yeah.
also it's just, how much control does he have over the coin's value and all that?
Yeah, and so like stepping away from that for a second, like you mentioned earlier that it uses like a Solana.
The Solana blockchain, yeah.
So how is that different, like technically from, Bitcoin or anything like that?
Well, unlike Bitcoin, which uses that proof of work system,
Right.
Solana uses this unique combo of proof of history and proof of stake.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that allows for like really fast and efficient transactions.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, we're talking like over 65,000 transactions per second.
Wow, that's a lot.
Way faster than Bitcoin.
Yeah, I've heard Bitcoin can be kind of slow.
Yeah, it can be pretty slow.
So what does that mean for like the average person who's using this?
Basically, it means like lower transaction fees and basically instantaneous transfers.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So like it could be used for like everyday purchases and stuff.
Potentially, yeah, if
Wow.
it gains traction.
Gotcha. Okay, so I think we should dig into the benefits and risks of actually investing in this.
Yeah, let's talk about the pros and cons.
Exactly. So let's talk about the good stuff first. Like, what are the potential benefits of investing in this thing?
Well, I think the biggest one is probably the branding.
Yeah.
Like, it appeals to Trump's base, and it's a way for them to, like, show their support
Okay.
and, maybe even profit from those beliefs.
It's like investing in a movement.
Yeah, exactly. And, like, that kind of loyalty can really drive up the price.
Okay.
Plus, meme coins are known for being really volatile.
Oh, yeah. They can go up and down like crazy.
Right, so that's risky, but it also means there's potential for, like, quick gains.
If you know what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, but like, isn't it risky to like base a cryptocurrency on like someone's political popularity?
That's a good point.
Like, what happens if, he loses popularity or if things change politically?
Yeah, that's definitely one of the big downsides. Like, it's really dependent on his standing
Right.
and public opinion.
Okay, so if that changes, the coin could tank,
Totally.
especially since he owns so much of it. And what about the fact that it doesn't seem to have like any real world use?
Like Bitcoin.
Yeah, like I've heard you can like buy stuff with Bitcoin now.
Right, and Ethereum has that whole, like, DeFi ecosystem.
DeFi, what is that?
Decentralized finance.
Okay.
It's basically recreating, like, all the traditional financial stuff, like lending, borrowing, trading,
Okay.
but without, like, banks or anything.
So like you could take out a loan, but not from a bank.
Yeah, exactly.
It's interesting.
Like, imagine earning interest on your savings, but it's all on this decentralized platform.
Okay, I think I'm starting to get it.
It's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
But Trump Coin doesn't have anything like that yet.
So it's just like a speculative thing.
Pretty much, yeah.
So if the hype dies down, then the price could crash.
It's possible, yeah.
And we can't forget about the regulatory stuff.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
Like, what if the government cracks down on crypto?
Totally. That could have a huge impact on Trump Coin.
Okay, so it sounds like there are a lot of risks.
Yeah,
But what are the experts saying? You mentioned some of them were optimistic.
yeah. Some people think that Trump will, like, clear the way for crypto with his executive power.
Oh, right, like make it easier for it to grow and stuff.
Exactly.
But didn't he call Bitcoin a scam once?
He did, yeah. And then later he was all about making America the crypto capital.
So it sounds like he's changed his mind a few times.
Yeah, he's kind of all over the place on this.
So it's hard to say what he'll actually do.
Exactly.
So some experts are skeptical,
Yeah, some people think he's just trying to cash in.
like taking advantage of his supporters.
Yeah, and potentially, like, exploiting their loyalty.
Yikes. That's pretty harsh.
Yeah, some people are really worried about it,
Like they think people are going to get hurt.
especially people who don't really understand the risks.
Okay, so let's say someone's heard all of this and they still want to invest.
Sure.
How do they actually buy Trump coin?
Well, you'd have to go through a cryptocurrency exchange,
Like what?
like Coinbase, Binance, Kraken, those kinds of places.
Okay, I've heard of those, but I've never actually used one.
Yeah, so basically you create an account,
Okay.
verify your identity link,
Right.
a payment method, and then you can trade like regular dollars for Trump coin.
So you're like buying it with real money?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so I buy it and then what? Do I just leave it on the exchange?
Well, it's not really recommended, no.
Why not?
Exchanges can get hacked,
Oh, yeah.
and then your money could be gone.
Yeah, so what do you do?
You need a digital wallet.
What's that?
It's like a secure place to store your crypto.
Like a digital bank account,
Exactly.
but for crypto?
Yeah,
Okay, so I
Done.
transfer it to my wallet and then it's safe.
exactly. Much safer than leaving it on an exchange.
Gotcha. So there's the whole buying and storing part. But what about the legal stuff?
Oh, yeah, that's important.
Like, what are the rules around crypto?
It's kind of complicated.
Yeah, it seems like a bit of a Wild West.
It kind of is, yeah. And the rules are different everywhere.
Really?
Yeah, in a lot of places, crypto is considered a financial asset. So there are all these regulations like anti-money laundering and know your customer rules.
So it's not just like a free-for-all.
No, definitely not.
And what about in the U.S.?
Well, the SEC is the main regulator,
The what?
the Securities and Exchange Commission.
Okay.
They could decide that Trump coin is a security.
What does that mean?
Basically, it means it's an investment where you expect a profit,
Okay.
but it's based on someone else's work.
So if they say it's a security, that's bad.
It could mean a lot more regulations,
Oh, no?
potentially legal challenges, even limitations on trading.
So it's not just about U.S. laws either, right?
Like, some countries are way more crypto-friendly than others.
Oh, wow.
And some have even banned certain cryptocurrencies.
So it's really important to like know the laws where you live.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so we've covered like the risks, the rewards, expert opinions, legal stuff.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it really is. But There's one more thing I'm curious about.
What's that?
Taxes.
Ah, yes.
But how do taxes work with crypto?
Well, in most countries, you have to report your transactions.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and you have to pay taxes on any capital gain.
Capital gains. So, like, every time the price goes up, I have to pay?
No, not every time. Only when you sell it for a profit.
Oh, okay.
So if you just hold on to it, you don't owe anything until you sell.
Gotcha. So it's kind of like stocks?
Yeah, it's similar.
Okay. This is all starting to make my head spin.
It's definitely complicated.
Yeah, crypto taxes sound like a nightmare.
They can be, yeah.
Yeah.
The rules are always changing.
So what should people do?
Honestly, talk to a tax professional.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Someone who specializes in crypto.
Okay, so it sounds like investing in this stuff is pretty serious business.
It is. Yeah, it's not something to take lightly.
You got to do your research
Definitely.
and understand the risks.
For sure.
Okay, so with all that in mind, where do we go from here? Like, what are the key things our listeners should remember?
Well, we've talked about a lot today, haven't we? From like what this thing even is to like, the potential upsides and downsides and then like all that crazy regulatory stuff.
Yeah, and taxes?
Oh yeah, don't forget taxes.
Seriously.
So I guess like what does it all mean? For the average person who's like listening to this and trying to figure out like, is this something I should even consider?
Well, I think the main takeaway is that this is all still pretty new, like the Wild West or something.
Right.
There's a lot that could happen, a lot of potential, but also a lot of risk.
Yeah, I'm getting that sense for sure.
So you got to be careful, do your research and never invest more than you can afford to lose.
Yeah, don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly, especially with something as volatile as crypto.
Right, and especially when it's like tied to a political figure.
Yeah, I mean, the success of this thing really hinges on, Trump's popularity and the whole MEGA movement.
So if that fades away, the coin could too. It's exactly.
It's almost like a social experiment or something.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see how all these things are intersecting, like politics and finance and technology.
Right, like the old rules don't apply anymore.
It's a whole new world.
So where does that leave us? What should people do with all this information?
I think the best thing to do is just stay informed. Keep learning. And don't be afraid to ask questions.
Okay, so stay curious.
Yeah, and be critical of the information you're seeing.
Right, don't just believe everything you read.
Exactly.
So I guess the big question is like, is this a legit investment or is it just a bubble that's going to burst?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I don't think there's an easy answer.
Okay.
It really depends on like your personal risk tolerance and your goals, and what you understand about the market.
So do your research.
Definitely.
And be careful.
Always.
Well, I think that's a good place to wrap things up.
Yeah, I think we covered a lot.
So to our listeners out there, keep exploring, keep learning, and remember there's a whole world of possibilities out there, but also a lot of risks. So be smart, be informed, and most importantly, have fun with it.
Couldn't have said it better myself.